Welcome back to the deep dive. It is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Today, we are cracking open a stack of notes and a script from the Creators Lab, specifically their 6th episode. And I have to say, looking at the title of this one, it feels a bit like we're attending a funeral.
A funeral? That's a pretty dark way to start things off.
Well, the title is Lead Magnets Aren't PDFs Anymore. And, considering the entire internet economy has basically been built on trading email addresses for PDFs for, the last 20 years, it feels like it's the end of an era.
I think it's less of a funeral and maybe more of an intervention. It's a bold statement, sure, but the source material argues it's a necessary one. We've been sort of stuck in a loop.
We really have. But before we get into the new rules the source lays out, I want to start with a very honest question for you. And for everyone listening, I want you to answer this in your head, too. When was the last time you downloaded a massive 50-page ultimate guide to something and actually read every single word of it?
Every single word. Oh, wow. Honestly, I can't remember.
Okay, let's lower the bar then. When was the last time you even opened it a second time?
That's the kicker, isn't it? I download them constantly. I have the best intentions. I see the button, I think, this is it. This is the guide that fixes my life. And then I download it, save it to a folder, and
it dies there.
It dies there.
A digital graveyard.
Exactly. It's where good intentions go to die. And that is the central tension of the material we're analyzing today. We are in 2026. The world has sped up. Attention has shifted. But the source argues that creators are still using 2015 strategies to catch people's attention.
It's a huge mismatch.
It is. And that mismatch is why engagement is tanking for so many people. So the mission of this deep dive is really to debunk this myth that lead magnets are dead. You hear that all the time.
Oh, constantly. Email is dead. Lead magnets don't work anymore.
Right. But the data here suggests the complete opposite. The concept isn't dead. The format is dead.
So if you're still out there offering the ultimate guide to everything as a big static PDF, you're basically invisible.
Worse than invisible.
Yeah.
You might actually be annoying your audience.
Harsh. But yeah, probably true. Okay, so we're going to uncover the 3 specific formats that are actually working right now, the ones seeing these crazy 2 and 3x conversion rates. But first, we need to diagnose the disease. Why is the old way failing so hard? The source uses a specific word to describe these long-form PDFs that just made me laugh out loud. It calls them homework.
It hits the nail on the head, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, think about the psychology of a user in 2026. You're scrolling, you have 10 tabs open, your attention is split 5 different ways. You see a headline that promises to solve a problem. You opt in, and then, thud. A 40-page block of text lands in your inbox.
It feels like a birding. I genuinely feel a little bit of guilt when I see it because I know I should read it, but I know I won't.
Your brain instantly categorizes it as work. It's a chore, it is passive, and the source makes a really critical distinction here that I think is the key to understanding this whole shift. It's not that people don't want value. People are desperate for solutions.
Right.
They just don't want passive chores.
That is a huge shift in perspective. Because as a creator, you're sitting there thinking, I spent 3 weeks writing this. I poured my soul into this. This is high value. But the user just sees a reading assignment from a stranger.
The creator sees value. The user sees friction. And in the battle between value and friction, friction almost always wins. The source lists the specific failure points of these homework PDFs. They're too long. They're usually way too generic.
Trying to appeal to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And most importantly, they're passive.
Passive seems to be the dirty word here. But I want to push back on this a little bit. We constantly hear that attention spans are destroyed, right? We're all just dopamine addicts. So wouldn't a course or a quiz, something that requires me to click and think and participate, wouldn't that require more attention than a PDF I can just save for later? Why does harder work better if we're all supposedly so lazy?
That is the million-dollar question. It seems so counterintuitive, right? If I barely have the patience to read a tweet, why on earth would I take a quiz? But the source explains this nuance perfectly. Yes, our attention spans are shorter, but our willingness to engage is actually higher as long as the content is dynamic.
Willingness to engage. Okay, break that down for me.
Think about how you use social media. You might scroll past a huge wall of text from your best friend without reading it. But if some random brand puts up a poll that says, "Are you a morning person or a night owl?" What do?
I click the button. Every time. I can't help myself. I have to know the results.
You engage. We crave feedback. We crave interaction. We don't have the patience to read a textbook, but we absolutely have the patience to play a game or discover something about ourselves. It gives you an immediate dopamine hit. Reading a PDF, that offers a delayed reward. You only get the benefit after you finish reading.
Oh, I see.
A quiz gives you the reward while you're doing it.
So it's the difference between slog now, benefit later versus fun now, benefit now.
Precisely. In 2015, information was scarce. You were willing to slog through that PDF because you couldn't get that info anywhere else. In 2026, information is a commodity. It is everywhere. We don't need more information. We need a specific result.
Okay, so the massive Ultimate Guide PDF is officially dead. RIP, we've established that. So what replaces it? The source breaks this down into 3 specific buckets. These are the formats that are supposedly crushing it right now. Let's walk through them, but I want to get specific, not just the theory. I want to know what these actually look like.
Let's do it.
Okay, bucket number 1. The short, well-designed PDF. Wait a minute, hold on. Didn't we just spend 5 minutes burying the PDF?
We did, but notice the qualifiers. Short and actionable. The source is very, very strict here. To work in 2026, a PDF must be 5 to 10 pages. Maximal.
5 to 10 pages. That feels like cheating. How can you possibly provide real value in 5 pages?
By cutting all the fluff. Think cheat sheet. Think checklist. Think template. The requirement is that it has to be incredibly specific, not the ultimate guide to digital marketing. It has to be the 10-minute SEO checklist for new blog posts.
I see the difference. One is a masterclass, the other is a tool.
It's a tool, exactly. The source argues that if it takes you an hour to read, it has failed. If it takes you 5 minutes to read and you get an immediate result from it, it's a huge winner.
Okay, can you give me an example? Let's say I'm a landscape photographer. The old way would be the complete guide to landscape photography. What's the new way?
The new way would be a 2-page PDF, the golden hour settings cheat sheet. A little printable card you can keep in your camera bag that tells you exactly what aperture and ISO to use right at sunset.
Oh, that's so much better. I would actually use that.
And every time you pull it out of your bag, you think of the person who made it. That is brand loyalty. You are solving a specific pain point in the moment that it happens.
Okay, that makes sense. Short, punchy, useful. I get it. Bucket number 2, interactive quizzes. Now, I see these everywhere, but sometimes they feel a little bit gimmicky. Which Disney princess are you? Does this actually work for serious businesses?
This is the heavyweight champion of 2026, according to all the data. And it's not about Disney princesses. The value here is personalization and segmentation. We are moving away from one-size-fits-all information.
Okay, so how does a serious business use this?
Let's take a financial advisor. The old way is a PDF called How to Save for Retirement. Boring. Generic. The new way is a quiz. What is your retirement readiness score?
Okay, I'm intrigued. I'd probably take that.
You take the quiz, you put in your age, your savings, your goals.
Yeah.
At the end, it doesn't just say save more money. It says you are an aggressive growth investor with a 15% gap in your savings.
It diagnoses me.
Correct. But here's the secret sauce that the source highlights, which I think is fascinating. It's not just about the user having fun. It's about the data the creator gets. This is the part most people totally miss.
What do you mean?
When someone downloads a standard PDF, all you know is their email address. You have no idea if they're 20 or 60. You don't know if they are rich or broke.
You're flying blind.
Totally flying blind. But when someone takes that retirement quiz, you know their email, their age, their income bracket, and their biggest financial fear.
Oh, wow. So you can market to them in a completely different way.
Exactly. The system tags them. You don't send the how to start saving email to the guy who already has $1 million in the bank. You send him the estate planning offer. The segmentation happens automatically.
That is powerful. It's like mind reading.
It's listening. It's asking questions instead of lecturing. And that flip in perspective is why they convert at 2 to 3 times the rate of PDFs. It makes the content about them, not about you.
I love that. Okay, bucket number 3, the 5-day email mini course. Now, I'll be honest, my inbox is a war zone. The idea of signing up for more email feels kind of scary. Why does this work?
It works because it directly addresses the overwhelm factor. Instead of giving someone the whole cake and saying, eat this now, you're giving them 1 slice a day. It is guided value.
So it's about the pacing.
It's pacing, but it's also habit formation. The source notes that this beats the single download because it literally trains the user to open your emails.
That is a really smart point. If I download your PDF, I might never open an email from you again. I got what I came for. It was a transaction.
Exactly. It's a hit and run. But if I sign up for a 5 Days to Better Sleep course, on day 1, I read it. On day 2, I'm actually looking for it in my inbox. By day 5, I'm in the habit of clicking your name.
You're building a relationship.
And you are establishing authority. The source uses the analogy of a lecturer versus a coach. A PDF is a lecturer throwing a textbook at you. An email course is a coach walking you through a drill, day by day. Okay, do this today. Good job. Now do this tomorrow.
And in 2026, people want the coach.
They are desperate for the coach. They have the textbook. They have Google. What they lack is the guidance.
So we have the short, actionable PDF, that's the tool, the interactive quiz, the diagnosis, and the email mini course, the guide. The expert in the source synthesizes this so beautifully. They say these three things all share one common trait. They feel like experiences, not downloads.
That's the core takeaway. The shift from taking a file to participating in a process. Experiences build trust in a way a static file simply cannot.
Okay, so I am completely sold on the concept. I'm listening to this. I'm nodding along. The data is there. The psychology makes perfect sense. But, and there is a big but here, if this is so obvious, why isn't everyone doing it? Why did I just get 3 50-page PDFs in my LinkedIn feed this morning?
The source calls this the hidden bottleneck, and the answer is actually very simple, very human, and very relatable. It isn't laziness. It's friction.
Friction.
Technical friction. I mean, think about the workflow. Writing a PDF is linear. You open a Word doc, you type, you save as PDF, you upload it. Done. You can do it in your pajamas with no internet connection.
True. It is super low tech. Everyone knows how to do it.
Now think about a quiz. You need logic branching. If they answer A, go to question 2. If they answer B, go to question 3. You need a scoring system. You need to connect it to your email provider. You need to automatically tag users based on their results.
My palms are sweating just hearing you list all that. It sounds like I need a degree in computer science to pull that off.
That is the reaction. The source notes that creators look at these high-converting formats and they just think, more tools, more cost, more ways for things to break.
So we're stuck in this loop. We know what works, the interactive stuff, but what works is too hard to build, so we just keep building what doesn't work, the PDFs, because it feels easy and safe.
That has been the status quo for years. Creators aren't avoiding lead magnets, they're avoiding complexity. They want the result, but the barrier to entry is just too high for a solitary creator who just wants to write or coach, not, become a programmer.
This seems to be where the source pivots toward a solution. They discuss this concept of system thinking, and they reference a tool called MagnetKit. But I'm more interested in the philosophy they describe. What does system thinking even mean in this context? Because that sounds like a lot of corporate jargon.
It does sound a little buzzwordy, but it's actually about automating the bridge between your existing content and the right format. The source describes an ideal workflow for 2026 that removes that blank page problem.
How so? Walk me through the steps.
Okay, so it involves 4 distinct steps. Step 1 is analysis. You shouldn't have to start from scratch. You already have blog posts, videos, rough notes. System thinking says start there.
So using what you already have, don't reinvent the wheel.
Right. Step 2 is recommendation. This is where AI usually comes in. The system should be able to analyze your notes on gardening and tell you, hey, this content is actually a diagnostic. You should make a "Why are my plants dying?" quiz.
That takes the creative fatigue out of it, because that's half the battle, just deciding what to make.
Totally. Step 3 is generation, actually building the asset, creating the quiz logic, writing the email sequence for you. And step 4 is connection, hooking it all up to your analytics and your email list so the data just flows automatically.
So the whole goal of system thinking is to make the hard stuff, the quizzes, the courses, as easy to create as the easy stuff, the PDFs.
Precisely. When that friction disappears, creators finally follow through. And the result, according to the source, is that you get to educate without hard selling.
I want to double click on that phrase, educate without hard selling. What does that actually look like in practice?
Well, let's go back to the skincare example from before. If you just try to sell me a moisturizer immediately, my guard goes straight up. I don't know you. I don't trust you. I feel like I'm being pitched.
Yeah, I hate being sold to.
We all do. But if you offer me a skin type quiz and I find out I have dehydrated, oily skin, and then you give me 3 quick tips to fix it, you have educated me. You've given me a quick win.
You've proven you know what you're talking about. You've diagnosed me correctly.
And you haven't screamed, "Be why now," in my face. But by helping me, you have naturally opened the door. So when you do eventually suggest a product, I'm actually listening. You've earned the right to sell to me because you provided value first.
It feels much more organic.
And much more respectful of the user's time and intelligence.
You know, it's funny. We started this whole deep dive talking about how lead magnets are dead, or at least how people say they are. But listening to all this, it feels like we're actually seeing a renaissance of lead magnets. They're just growing up.
They are maturing. And they're becoming more user-centric. That's the bottom line. The old way was creator-centric. Look at how much I know. Look at my big book. Look at my expertise. The new way is user-centric. Here's a quick tool to help you right now.
It's less ego, more service.
That is a great way to put it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the 2026 landscape of lead magnets, let's recap the main lesson here. If your email list isn't growing, don't blame the algorithm. Don't blame the death of email.
No, blame the format.
If you are serving cold, stale oatmeal, those massive PDFs, don't be surprised if no one eats it. But if you are serving, I don't know, what's the food analogy here? Tapas?
Small, delicious, personalized plates. Sure, I like that.
There we go. If you are serving tapas, the line goes around the block.
The closing argument from the source is really powerful on this. It says you must meet the audience where they are. And right now, in 2026, the audience is defined by two things: short attention, high intent.
Short attention, high intent. That feels like a contradiction, but it's actually a very specific state of mind, isn't it?
It means I don't have time to waste, but I really want to solve this one problem. And if you can bridge that gap,
Yeah.
give them the solution without wasting their time, you win.
It's incredible how simple that sounds, yet how easy it is to forget when you're in the weeds of creating content.
It is. We overcomplicate everything. We think more is better. We think longer is more valuable. But usually, clear is better. And fast is better.
I think that's going to be my mantra going forward. Clear is better. So, we've covered the death of the PDF, the rise of the interactive experience, the quizzes, the cheat sheets, the email courses, and the system thinking needed to actually pull it off without losing your mind.
A pretty productive deep dive.
I would say so. Now, before we sign off, we always like to leave you with something to chew on, something that takes what we've discussed and pushes it just a little bit further.
We've talked a lot today about shifting from downloads to experiences. So here's the question I want you to ask yourself, regardless of what industry you're in, whether you sell software or coaching or knitting patterns.
Let's hear it.
If you stopped trying to give your audience a textbook and you started trying to give them a first win, what would that look like? What is the one small thing you could help them achieve in 5 minutes that would prove you can help them achieve the big thing later on?
That's good. Not the whole solution, just the first win.
Just the first win. That moment they go, oh, this works. Figure that out, turn that into a quiz or a checklist, and you won't have to worry about your lead magnets failing ever again.
I love it. Something for everyone to think about on their commute or while they're hopefully not reading a 50-page PDF.
Please, spare yourself.
That is it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
See you then.